Not that long ago, Bruce Willis announced his retirement from film because of a disease, a condition that he had that made it impossible for him to do a lot of things, recognize faces, I think recall scripts and things, and it just made acting impossible for him. So he had to step away. And this is kind of some new, historically new, especially in the acting world. Bruce Willis has become the first Hollywood star to sell rights to a deepfake firm after retiring from acting earlier this year. And this is kind of weird. This is kind of weird because, I mean, we've seen this happen in movies and commercials where people who have died, Bruce Willis still with us, but just no longer able to perform, no longer able to act. But now a company will be able to use his likeness, use his image and voice to superimpose him into movies. So he can still star in movies digitally. But what we've seen in movies like Star Wars, where there's actors who have died and they use a CGI version of the actor to reprise their role in a franchise, which I think that's shady. You know, you've seen people like Fred Astaire, and I think selling vacuums. Of course, there was the hologram Tupac that showed up at Coachella. Like, we've seen versions of this where people who have died, their likeness and their character has been used in different things, which is very weird. Like, for a lot of reasons, it's really weird. Like, just weird using somebody who's dead, using them to sell a thing, to do a thing that they may never have approved to do. Like selling vacuums. And I don't know if it was Fred Astaire or not, but, you know, there's been a lot of versions of this. And it's not surprising that actors would, because that's the future. The future is not only just deep fakes, but just selling. I've heard stories of actors getting full body scans over the years for them to compile a catalog of their digital self over the years so that in the future they can license that out. I mean, definitely for an actor to be able to kind of generate income after they retire, or for whatever happened for their family later on to be able to continue making money, but just also other revenue streams. I mean, if you're an actor today and you are able to compile these digital assets of yourself, live body scans, voice things, you're able to archive those things while you're still alive, while you're still performing, then you can like license those things out to do roles that are smaller, or to do like commercials and things that you wouldn't want to spend time. Like, you can bring in money that doesn't require you to put a full performance, put all of your artistic ability into a performance like a commercial, and get extra money without having to do the work. It's almost like, for an artist, selling prints of your work versus selling originals, right? These actors are able to sell like prints of themselves, sell like clones of themselves to be in things that bring in smaller amounts of money, but have like kind of almost that you know, that revenue stream that you're not just like an automatic revenue stream that you're not physically putting work into. You're not actively putting work into. It's just an interesting time we're living in. And as far as all the actors to do, it makes sense that Bruce Willis would do it, because he's not like, if he didn't have whatever disorder or illness that he has, he would still be acting. I mean, the dude was in tons of movies, not many of which not very good, but like, he was working. He was definitely putting himself out there in as many movies as possible. So, and still a beloved actor in a lot of ways. Still somebody that could sell a movie in a lot of ways, even though a lot of the movies he was in were kind of B movies, straight to video kind of stuff, straight to streaming, whatever. So it's a situation that makes sense because he's not dead, but his ability to act is no longer there. It's no longer an option. So this is kind of a way for him to still make money without having to actually do the work. Just very interesting. It's just like a big gray area. It's just a huge gray area. And there's a similar story with James Earl Jones signing off the licensing to Disney in order for Star Wars to use his voice as Darth Vader. Like, he doesn't want to have to read the scripts anymore. He doesn't want to have to perform in those movies anymore. So he signed his voice, made a deal, and signed the rights to his voiceover for them to use his, probably in perpetuity after he passes away. The voice of Darth Vader will continue on as James Earl Jones. But that's like, should it? Like, there's nothing wrong with, like, changing an actor for a performance. It's like, do we need Darth Vader in Star Wars movies in perpetuity? There's like no other stories to tell in this universe, this fictional. It's always got to be about Luke, Leia, Darth Vader. It's like just about these few characters. It's like very minimal, the scope of Star Wars. I think they've started branching out. It's just it's one of the most overrated franchises, I would say. There's so many disappointing movies in that franchise. It's insane. But it's owned by Disney. So they'll just keep squeezing and squeezing out every last dollar until it's exhausted, and then they'll just put it on hold for a decade or two and then bring it back. But, yeah, interesting news from Bruce Willis. Interesting to see what his deepfake shows up in. You know? Maybe we'll see the deepfake Bruce Willis in commercials soon. Or even it'll be interesting to see the first, like, role that his likeness gets, right? Movie starring Bruce Willis's likeness. Interesting. And it'll be interesting where that money, like, did he get paid up front or does he get residuals every time his likeness is used? I don't know. Interesting. Interesting time we're living in with technology and performances and content and acting and all that.
New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on YouTube and everywhere our podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at InspiredDisorder.com/plus. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at InspiredDisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.